Kaepernick donated $1 million to many things, including Know Your Rights Camp. I just want to know, like, what would you say is more important, helping black people and equality in this country, or standing for the anthem, when many terrible people who I would never consider patriots stand for the anthem? So I don't think that it's much of a symbol as loving your country as actively doing something to help it, like Colin Kaepernick has done.
Okay, so
you can do both, but I don't think you have to stand for the anthem to love your country.
No, so here's the one thing I will say. I want to make it very clear. Not once do I think they should be forced to stand for the anthem. I think they should be able to voluntarily do whatever they wish to do. I think they're making fools of themselves, quite honestly. And I think that the criticism towards them is warranted and right. And so when you have an act of civil disobedience during the national anthem, in protest of what exactly? No, tell me.
Yeah, they are protesting because they feel that black people are oppressed in this country in ways including education. There's education oppression. There's been housing discrimination still going on in this country. There's police brutality, which is still an issue in this country. Mm-hmm. There's lack of accountability for police when they do commit crimes. And that's what they've been
So you believe during the national anthem, the song that represents the very fabric of this country is the appropriate time to do that in front of the flag, in front of veterans saluting? You feel that's appropriate?
You see, it's not the fact that people are kneeling that's the issue. It's what they're kneeling for. That usually doesn't get addressed. The deflecting begins. In this clip, Charlie Kirk made an appeal to emotion, but you're doing it in front of veterans. Nobody wants to tackle the actual issue. Kirk asked about the issue, and when the guy gave an itemized list of the grievances, Kirk started to deflect. It wasn't an appropriate time to do it. Newsflash. In a system of white supremacy, it's never an appropriate time to talk about the legacy of white supremacy. When riots occur, not an appropriate time. When kneeling occurs, not an appropriate time. When seemingly nothing occurs, everything seems fine. What's there to talk about? This is the deflection seminar that we get when the subject of the inequities due to white supremacy enters the room. Take a listen.
Let me ask you this. Now that you see what was going on, how many times did you and your friends have a conversation before Colin Kaepernick did what he did about police brutality, about the inequities in America? How many times do you and your friends sitting around, you're playing golf, and you say, you know what? That's wrong what happened in New York. That's wrong what's happened in Chicago. That's wrong what happened in Missouri. How many times? No protests, no unity. How many times did y'all have that conversation?
I cheated because my partner is Gus Johnson. Okay. And I've talked with these issues with Gus Johnson last year when we became booth mates. So I have had that discussion, but with my friends that are not African American, that conversation never happened.
I've been trying to say, they keep saying, well, we could have this conversation another way. No, you won't.
It's not talked about. It's not brought up. And when it's put in a position where it must be confronted, the reasons are deflected. It becomes about the flag or the veterans or the meaning of the flag. Of course, they will say that the meaning of the flag and the national anthem is a celebration of freedom. By the same token, they'll say you can't kneel during our celebration of freedom. But wouldn't kneeling, standing, wiping your ass, picking your nose, wouldn't all that be a part of the freedom the flag and the national anthem are supposed to represent? The answer is yes, they would be. So what was it really? It wasn't the kneeling. It wasn't Colin Kaepernick. It wasn't not knowing what the grievances were. It wasn't the flag. It wasn't the national anthem. It wasn't the platform. It wasn't the NFL. Put very simply, it was the content of why he was kneeling. I said it before, and I'll say it again. In the system of white supremacy, one of the goals is to ignore or minimize the harm done by the system. This is a classic case. Now that's out of the way. Hit the beat. In the system of white supremacy, when inequities that black people face come up, they will deflect, change the subject, or make it an emotional appeal. The Kaepernick story taught us that. In this system, ignorance is key. It's not just what they don't know, it's also what they won't know too. If you see the subject constantly change to something unrelated, we know why. seek out the comment sections on videos like this and share this video as a rebuttal to their nonsense.